Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
I have the real evidence. It's there, and you can't deny that.
The vanishing of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 is a big puzzle. It's quite worrisome because this was a modern Boeing 777 with advanced technology, and it just disappeared with passengers on board. It's like it vanished into thin air, and that's very suspicious. This is Reveal the Mystery. If you are curious to learn mystery of the world, space and beyond, consider subscribing. The perplexing disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 continues to baffle many, akin to a vanishing act from the pages of a mystery novel. To unravel its whereabouts, we must gather clues from its journey. On March 8, 2014, MH370 departed Kuala Lumpur International Airport en route to Beijing with 227 passengers and 12 crew members. The initial 38 minutes of the flight appeared routine, with the plane communicating with air traffic control and adhering to its planned route. However, at 1:19 a.m., upon entering Vietnamese airspace, a directive to change air traffic control centers was issued. The co-pilot's reply, "Good night, Malaysian 370, marked the plane's final communication. Shortly after, around 1:21 a.m., the plane's transponder, which helps radar track it, either malfunctioned or was deliberately turned off. This made it invisible to regular radar. However, military radar continued to track it as it deviated from its planned route, flying west over the Malay Peninsula instead of heading north to Beijing. The plane's satellite system sporadically sent signals to an Inmarsat satellite. The last complete signal, a handshake, occurred at 8:11 a.m., suggesting the plane flew for approximately 7 hours after losing contact with air traffic control. The disappearance triggered an extensive search and rescue mission. Here's a timeline of what happened. March 8, 2014. MH370 was declared missing when it didn't arrive in Beijing. March 9th, 2014. The initial search focused on the South China Sea, where the plane was last seen on civilian radar. March 12, 2014. The search area expanded to include the Strait of Malacca based on military radar data suggesting the plane might have turned back. March 15, 2014. Malaysia's Prime Minister said the plane's communication systems were intentionally turned off, and it might have flown for up to 7 more hours, leading to 2 possible routes, one to the north and one to the south. March 16, 2014. Attention shifted to the southern route based on more satellite data analysis. Many countries, including Australia, started searching the southern Indian Ocean. Satellite images showed potential debris, but none were confirmed to be from MH370. In March 2014, Prime Minister Razak disclosed that based on satellite analysis, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 was last located in the middle of the Indian Ocean, ending in the southern Indian Ocean. The search for the missing plane continued throughout March and April 2014 in the southern Indian Ocean, involving ships and aircraft from multiple countries. The search efforts intensified in the subsequent months, employing underwater drones and specialized equipment to scan the ocean floor. Despite these extensive efforts, MH370 remained undiscovered. Its disappearance deeply affected families and the aviation community, prompting global cooperation and the use of advanced technology to solve the mystery. One widely discussed theory suggests that Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah deliberately altered the plane's course, possibly as an act of pilot suicide. This theory is supported by 3 key pieces of evidence. The flight path, H370, deviated from its planned route after taking off from Kuala Lumpur on March 8, 2014. Instead of heading to Beijing, it made sharp turns, turned off its communication systems, and flew south over the Indian Ocean, for approximately 6 hours before running out of fuel and crashing. The pilot's background and behavior. Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah was an experienced pilot with no known history of mental illness or criminal activity. The pilot's home flight simulator. Investigators found that Zahari had used his home flight simulator to practice routes similar to the one taken by MH370, including flying over the Indian Ocean and remote islands. They also discovered that he had deleted some data from the simulator shortly before the flight, raising questions about his intentions, including the possibility of hijacking the plane or crashing it into the ocean. The fourth piece of evidence highlights the absence of communication or distress signals from the plane, suggesting that Zahari deliberately avoided contact with air traffic control after disabling communication systems. This led to the plane following a predetermined course until it crashed. The erratic flight path, the deactivation of communication systems, and the controlled flight indicated by satellite data support this theory. However, the motive behind the hijacking remains unclear, with possibilities ranging from political statements to ransom demands, although no group has claimed responsibility or made demands. Experts have speculated about MH370 possibly being hijacked, like the 9/11 attacks, where someone took control of the plane for potential terrorist purposes due to its ample fuel. Yet, no such attack occurred. Another theory suggests accidental destruction, potentially related to ongoing military exercises in the vicinity during its disappearance. Comparable to the 1988 U.S. Navy incident, if MH370 strayed too close to these exercises, it might have been misidentified as a threat. The aircraft's peculiar flight path, marked by unexpected turns and landward routes after its last communication with air traffic control, hints at an attempt to evade radar detection. The scarcity of wreckage remains a perplexing aspect of this enigma, with only sporadic debris washing ashore on islands, while the primary crash site remains elusive. Besides the Iran Air Flight 655 incident, there have been other cases where civilian planes were accidentally or intentionally shot down, like Korean Air Flight 007 in 1983. These events, although rare, show that such tragedies can happen. Another theory suggests that the cargo inside MH370 might have caused its disappearance. Specifically, there were lithium-ion batteries in the plane's cargo, which can be dangerous if something goes wrong. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, has documented cases where these batteries caused fires on planes. Since MH370 had a lot of these batteries on board, it's possible that if one or more of them malfunctioned or got damaged, it could have started a fire which caused loss of air pressure. Fires on planes caused by lithium-ion batteries have happened before, like a UPS cargo plane crash in 2010 and issues with the Boeing 787 Dreamliner's batteries in 2013. These incidents show that carrying a lot of these batteries on a plane can be risky. While the official report on MH370's disappearance didn't say for sure that the batteries caused a fire, it didn't rule out this possibility. The fact that these batteries were on board and the known dangers associated with them support this theory. And the batteries were indeed on the plane. British aeronautical engineer Richard Jeffrey recently published a 232-page report, co-authored with academics Hannes Kurtzi and Simon Maskell, corroborating the findings of UWA. Jeffrey's research centers on the use of WSPRnet, a global network of amateur radio operators transmitting low-power signals that can traverse long distances. These signals interact with aircraft, potentially bouncing or scattering in various directions. By scrutinizing alterations in signal strength and direction, Jeffrey effectively monitored EEH-370's movements over the Indian Ocean. His analysis also incorporated data from Inmarsat, which received hourly pings from MH370's satellite communications system. Jeffrey incorporated this data with Boeing's performance records and oceanographic drift data to pinpoint plausible flight paths and crash locations. His examination disclosed that MH370 continued flying for almost 7 hours post, losing contact with air traffic control, covering a distance of approximately 5,000 kilometers. The aircraft pursued a curved trajectory influenced by wind patterns and the Earth's rotation, culminating in a crash into the ocean at approximately 0:26 on March 8, 2014. The coordinates were roughly 30.57 degrees south and 98.75 degrees east, about 2,000 kilometers west of Perth, Australia, and around 1,000 kilometers north of the prior search zone.